Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen,
Hi, I'm Mike Zapsik from AMC's Comic Book Man.
and you're watching AFK, the AFK show, our favorite show on the planet.
One of.
One of. So you're watching the right show. Keep watching, and keep watching.
And keep watching. And keep watching. Don't stop.
Oh boy.
That's his line.
It's mom's line. Hello, San Antonio.
Hello. Back at my South Texas stomping grounds.
He's a Tejano right here.
All right, guys, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started because this is going to be a very interesting panel with these two characters back together. Everybody knows them from La Bamba, and there's plenty more that these guys have done that have just blown us away throughout the years. We're going to go ahead and get started. Who would like to start the questions? All right, here we go. We got this one, and then you'll go next.
When you guys were getting ready to film La Bamba, what did you guys do to prep to get into the characters of Bob and Richie?
Well, I'm going to say real quickly that I had the fortune to meet and know the real Bob, as opposed to Richie, who didn't have Richie there to talk to. So I feel blessed that the real Bob gave me an insight into his personality and his relationship with his half-brother and all those dynamics. It was amazing. A few cervezas and bonding. Yeah.
But the entire family was there, you know, the whole time. I mean, his older sister Connie, who was 12 when he passed, Irma, Mario, baby Mario, and his mother. So and various aunts and uncles. So we had the really wonderful opportunity to hang with them, to get the vibe, to really soak up the family, you know, bond that they had. And I mean, and other than that, I had to learn how to play the guitar and learn 16 songs, so it was crazy.
It was crazy, yeah. But the best thing was to have the real Bob to absorb. For me, his mannerisms, his chicanismo, you know? Remember this move? Yeah. That's Mexican pride right there, dude.
How's it going, guys?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing good. I was since it was such an influential part for y'all, did y'all expect this movie to be such a memorable one for such a long time?
You know, when we were making it, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was a little film. I mean, you have to realize that La Bamba was made for $6 million. It was a negative pickup for Columbia Studios. It was not one of their big, you know, studio films. And you know, it wasn't Tom Cruise in this movie. You know, I mean, you know, it's some talented actors, I'm very proud to say, and the rest of the cast that was with us. But I don't think we ever suspected, at least I didn't, that it was going to not only become the worldwide sensation that it was, but have the kind of staying power that it's had after 27 years.
Amazing, yeah. We were making a film that I thought would be something that you could be proud of looking back, because from our communities, we don't get La Bambas every day.
Yeah.
We don't get movies where we're human beings, good, bad, and great and indifferent. That was the greatness of this film. It wasn't just about being Latino. It was about being human beings within each other and trying to make this young man trying to find his dream in a world that was like, really?
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Thanks for coming to San Antonio. Go
Thank
Spurs,
you.
go.
All right. Hey, by the way, to the Spurs, I think their next motto should be not our first or our last.
Nice.
I give them permission.
How you doing, guys? Quick question. During the set of La Bamba, do y'all have any stories, comedic? I mean, y'all have to have something that pranks that y'all would play or anything like that?
Is the
or
statute of
anything?
limitations up yet?
No.
There are certain things we just can't talk about.
Yeah, well,
At ACC, actually, nothing's off limits. So
yeah. Well, there you go. It's an open book. But do you have anything to share? Any stories that in the back of your head to this day still you remember?
There's children here, so I don't know.
I was going to say, not a
Let's
lot
say
that we
the
can share.
PG rated.
Yeah. There were many more hijinks for me on Young Guns, and I'm surprised that we actually survived that. But I was.
He almost lost his arm, I believe.
Yeah, I did. But I was scared crapless on La Bamba, man. I was a good boy. Him though, whatever he wants to share.
Lou was technically a year older than me, but I felt like his older brother, not only in the story, but in Hollywood, because I'd been there a little longer.
Absolutely.
And Lou was truly very innocent and wide-eyed, just like his character. I mean, his spirit was exactly what was needed for the part. I don't know if we both auditioned for both roles.
Yeah.
You know, we both auditioned for both roles, but I kind of had a feeling I wanted to do the role with my father's name, Morales, in it, you know, and I just felt like that Lou, you know, his spirit, his innocence, his bright-eyedness fit well for that, and I felt like my badness, my bad boyness.
The very first scene we did, I will say this, the very first scene we did together was that run up that hill, right? And the camera's freaking 2 miles away, and Luis Valdez made us do it at least a dozen times.
Oh, at least.
And like the 6th or 7th time, we were like, the hell?
Yeah.
What does he want?
Yeah.
We're just running, for God's sakes.
That's why I think I said my first, Richie, wait for me, cabrón!
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
all right, thank you. We're going to go ahead and take the question over here on the stage left. Mike?
For me, La Bamba was a great film for me growing up, to see Hispanic actors. So that was a great inspiration. I'm got into acting. My question for Mr. Morales on that, the scene that made me cry the most is unfortunately the scene where Richie dies. But when you're on that bridge and you give that amazing, visceral, emotional scream, where did you have to pull to get that?
His gonads.
Well, fun. What's that? Your description of that scene literally gave me goosebumps. So, it's what we do for a living is put ourselves in imaginary circumstances and react truthfully. So the thought of a brother that I never had, especially this young, talented man that we grew, I mean, that was a latter part of the shoot.
Yeah.
We grew close to each other, and the thought of him losing his life at 17 years old with so much potential can still make me cry.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's absolutely real passion. That's real passion, and that's what it takes for acting, for great acting. We're going to go ahead and take the young lady right here on stage right. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. How's it going? La Bamba is such a classic movie, but with Hollywood, they're always remaking stuff. If you had any kind of creative control, who would you want casted? Would you want someone with a known name or some unknown?
Oh, if we were going to
new
remake
star?
La Bamba?
Yeah, like if they ever, God forbid, but if they ever decided.
I don't know if he would do this. I would write him a personal letter, but you know, Justin Bieber would be amazing.
That's true. Very true.
The truth is, I mean, Esai had done Bad Boys and was freaking brilliant, and you know, I was absolutely intimidated when we started working because I thought the guy was a genius, and but I think one of the real things about the heart of La Bamba was that it was not, you know, megastars, you know, in the roles. They cast the right actor for the role. And I think if they were going to redo it today, that really should be the philosophy, in my opinion.
I agree, and I just want to add to that. Unfortunately, today, movies are either so expensive that the studios don't want to take chances on unknown talents. If La Bamba were shot today, I'm not sure Lou and I would have had the shot that we had in the 80s. It would probably be, you know, somebody else, or, I mean, it makes me feel sad that in a way it's because there were not too many big name Latino stars that we got a chance to do that. So it's a double-edged sword.
And I will say this though, unfortunately, and we're seeing more, you know, Latino-themed films, and more people are getting attention, but there are still not the bankable, you know, stars in Hollywood that are of, you know, the Latino persuasion. You know what I'm saying? It's a sad state of affairs, and you know, people like us continue to try to keep that door open so that the next generation can come in.
And by the way, as wonderful as you guys are about us, and at least my career, it's still not easy.
Yeah.
It's still not easy to get the parts you believe you deserve when you see people, you know, when it's been a few years since you've done a major motion picture of that kind of budget. So we depend upon your support to remind them.
Well, y'all are awesome. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take one more right here, and then you'll be next.
Hi, guys. Well, first of all, I want to say you guys look more wapples now than you did in the movie. Now, my question is for Lou. I know you were raised in Corpus Christi, and I know you're in Hollywood now. Do you still take that Texas love with you, or do you go back to your roots and visit Corpus again?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't been able to get back to Corpus for a while. I mean, there's always an opportunity, and I get back probably once a year. Whether, you know, and this, you know, is probably going to be a destination for me now. But, you know, the Dallas Film Festival, a good friend of mine from college runs that. I did a film that's going to have a panel here a little later called Sanitarium. One of the biggest reasons I did it was that it shot right here in San Antonio with San Antonio writers and directors. My dad still lives in Corpus. So, you know, whenever I have a chance to get back and to stay in touch with those Texas roots, you know, I had, you know, friends of mine from junior high that I had dinner with last night. So, no, I've not forgotten.
Yeah, he didn't go to Corpus Christi, but Corpus Christi came to him last night.
Thank you, guys.
Really quick, following up that question, for those from Corpus Christi, what high school are you from?
Flower Bluff.
Oh.
Hustling Hornets.
They call that a bluff rat, right?
Yeah, right,
in Corpus?
exactly.
All right.
I call your bluff.
We're going to go right over here.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
First of all, I just want to say I grew up watching both of you, and I love your work. I myself now am an actor. And the question I have for both of you guys is, what advice would you give to a young Latino actor trying to break into the industry?
Well, don't break anything for sure. People say, how did you get in? I go, I snuck in through the back.
They expect breaking and entering from Latino actors is the problem.
Yes. Breaking Bad acting. I mean, for me, I have a very simple motto: learn to love and love to learn. And I like to soak up as much knowledge and information as I can about life in the world, because I think it always informs, or it can, your characters. So the more well-rounded you are informationally, the easier it is to learn about something, as opposed to something that's completely foreign to you. So also, try not to define yourself as a Latino actor, because you know that will kind of put you in a box that you may deserve to be outside of as well. You know, so learn a craft, learn the technique of acting, so that you can approach every character with a method, not necessarily having to be a method actor, but you have your method, what works for you, what makes you want to cry, what makes you want to feel, the things that make you feel human. Just keep that under the surface, because you will need that bag of tricks. And I say tricks because it's a technique to get back there. And the easier you can put yourself back there, the easier it will be to craft the emotion that you need for whatever given scene. So always listen, learn, and practice. Even if it's messing around, reading things, bring words to life. Words on a script are just notes, and you know, it's what you bring to them. It's like a pitch. You can either throw a straight ball or you can put a spin on it. You can throw a curve, you can put some stuff on it. And that's what people identify with, the stuff you put in the words that they're given.
Yeah, and like you said, just keep working. It's a craft, man. It's an art. And there's an American Idol mentality that thinks you're going to get famous overnight because of reality TV. Everybody thinks you're going to get on television. If you're really going to be an actor with a capital A, and like Esai said, without a hyphen, study the craft. But then get to know, like you said, what works for you and what you're selling. Especially in the beginning of your career, you're going to be cast for what you look like. For how tall you are, what you sound like, what you walk like, all of that. Get to know your Tupperware because that's what you're selling, and be the best at it that you can be. Don't be the next Esai Morales. Don't be the next Denzel Washington. Don't be the next Jackie Chan. Be you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So guys, to both of y'all, being a music educator, I appreciated La Bamba very much for that aspect. The music in it was fantastic. Lou, I have to tell you, your character that you played in the show Bones, throughout that series of Bones, absolutely one of my favorite characters very much. And then...
thank you. Bones?
Bones.
I wasn't on Bones.
Wait, which one?
Numbers?
Numbers. Sorry.
There you go.
That's what I get for watching too many shows.
That's okay. They both have a B in them.
No bones about it.
Numbers. No, you're right. But I was going to ask, could you talk a little bit about some of your favorite memories as Chavez E. Chavez from Young Guns?
First of all, that was a pinch me moment. I mean, made La Bamba and Stand and Deliver, and it took a long time for them to come out. Young Guns for me was the moment where I thought, okay, I've arrived. Because I was working with those guys that had been established for a long time, and it was really kind of a magical time. And Chris Kane, who directed the first one, I mean, his first direction to us was, don't think too much, just be. You got cast for this because of who you are, so just bring who you are to this, and don't overthink it, And so it was wild. It was rough. Thank God TMZ didn't exist at that time. You think there's stuff we can't talk about on La Bamba? Woo! Charlie Sheen was on our set, you know what I'm saying? Oh. Winning! Yeah. No, it's okay, man. It's all right. I just do what I do and I get paid for it. It's fine. It's I'm winning. But we had so much fun. They made a second one.
Yeah. Awesome series, guys.
And thank you for teaching music, because music is an incredible art form that needs to be supported more. Get your Congress people, get your state senators, support the arts.
This is for Lou. I've been following your career a long time, and you have
Stalker?
such...
Are you a stalker?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Because I need one.
Not really, just your movies. You've had such a variety of types of movies that you've done, and I was curious, what was the most difficult character for you to get into to perform?
La Bamba really kind of set the bar, quite honestly, and I'm not being mercenary just because we're talking about that show mostly, but I mean, there was so much training that went in, and I got cast the Friday before we started rehearsal on Monday. We had 1 week of rehearsal. And so much to learn. So it set the bar. I don't play the guitar. He does. At the time I really wasn't much of a singer. I'm better now. But there was just so much to absorb, and the challenge was so great that it really was. And I was scared shitless that I was, pardon me kids, that I was going to be fired every day, because I was an unknown kid from Texas. And Taylor Hackford the third day said to me, if you don't knock this out of the park, kid, we're sending you back to Texas. And I was like, oh God. So
that's motivation.
Yeah, that's motivation, indeed. But each role has its different challenges, especially if you're going to approach it as a character actor. And I think that's what we both are. I mean, we are many times leading men, but many times we're these characters. And so you care about what's different about each role. I have a film coming out next year called The 33 with Antonio Banderas and Julia Binoche. And it's about the Chilean miners in 2009. I lost 18 pounds in 3 weeks.
Why?
And because they were in the mine for 69 days. Wow. So that one was
no craft service in the mine?
Yeah, there wasn't a Krispy Kreme down there, sadly enough. But you rise to the challenges of each role if you care that it's going to have the kind of longevity that this film has had.
And look out in Corpus Christi for Lou's new franchise, Corpus Krispy Kreme.
Corpus Krispy Kreme, exactly.
Thank
for
you.
reals.
Let's go right here.
Both of you guys have had the opportunity to work with a wide variety of actors. Lou, you've worked with people like Mark Wahlberg, Emilio Estevez, and even Edward James Olmos. And my question for both of you guys is there anyone in particular you just really love to work with again?
No. Well, actually, believe it or not, there's a couple of guys by the name of Sean Penn and Lou Diamond Phillips that wouldn't be bad to work with again, and we haven't worked. You know, I think it would be nice to like regroup, not La Bamba 2 per se, unless Richie answers that question.
Rock and roll heaven. That's it.
But yeah, I mean, so many. I don't know if we can pick one. Do you have?
No, I've been, like you said, been blessed, you know, and different people teach you different things. You know, Denzel Washington, I mean, his professionalism and his intensity. Eddie, who's a dear friend of both of ours, you know, a consummate professional, but
very intense.
You know, yeah, exactly, very, very intense. And you know, would regroup with people like that, you know, all the time. The funny thing is like I've worked with Kiefer 5 times, you know, and he and I have a very special bond because he gets cold, and he's little, it's always like we're fans too. I know I'm a fan. There are a lot of people. I've never worked with Sean. I'd give my eye teeth to work with Sean. You know, the De Niro's, Pacino's, Streeps of the world. You know, so you're always keeping your eye open and hopefully get that opportunity. And you know, like Esai said, I mean, we don't get our pick of roles. It's not like they throw out, you know, the casting and go, hey, who wants to do this? No, it is still a battle in Hollywood to get even in the door.
Right.
So. You just go from job to job doing the best work that you can, and when you get an opportunity to go head to head, you know, with the kind of actor that he is, or some of the other people that I've worked with, then you know, you got to bring your A game or get your ass blown off the screen.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of people I wouldn't want to work with again, but we can't mention those.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're gonna take the next one here.
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just to get the line down.
Okay.
Preparing for roles, did you guys get help from Los Lobos, Cesar, or Louis playing the drums? Or Dave Hidalgo?
Those guys were amazing. You must have worked with them.
No, I didn't meet him until the House of Ill Repute in Mexico, which we actually shot the interior in Hollywood. No,
Did you know that was them, by the way? That Los Lobos performed.
Yeah. So no, I mean, they had recorded the soundtrack long before, you know, we ever showed up. So all the music was already done so that I could lip sync to it and play to it and all that other stuff. So those guys weren't around. I didn't meet them until that day on the set when we were doing that. But then we also had the opportunity after the fact to go in and meet, you know, Carlos Santana and like Bo Diddley, you know, not Bo Diddley, but Willie Dixon, people like that, you know. And even people like Brian Setzer and Marshall Crenshaw and people like that, they showed up. They only showed up on the day.
And for both of y'all, what is your favorite Richie Valens tunes?
Do these shit stompers? I like Donna. I love its simplicity. I love its harmony. I love O'Donna.
I always thought "Come On, Let's Go" was a little overlooked. It's kind of classic 50s rockabilly rock, you know, and there was something very pure about it, you know. I mean, it could have been done by Chuck Berry, it could have been done by Elvis, you know, and so I think all of these songs point to the fact that Richie had so much more to give and was just coming into his own, and even at the age of 17 was a real pioneer.
He was no Bieber.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. We're going to go right here.
Hey guys, I wanted to say that I've really enjoyed you guys on recent stuff. On Caprica, I watched Esai, and I was really enjoying Henry in Longmire. I was disappointed that there will be no more Longmire.
No, back up.
Has that changed?
Wait.
No, it's not. It's not changed. What it is that A&E obviously they let us go, but I can assure you, the producers have had meetings this week with other networks. So it is not dead and gone. There's a very, very good chance it'll come back.
And if you guys like it, write people, let people know, put it out there because they notice what happens on social media.
Oh no, we've had 3 Long Live Longmire Stampedes, and it's trended all 3 times. That's 6 million people who watch the show who will not go away.
Yep. Well, I wanted to ask you about, you already mentioned it, but I wanted to know about your coming projects. I had read about the 33. I was confused a little bit at first when I saw that you were doing something called The Brink because it sounded kind of apocalyptic, but then I saw it's dark humor and I was like,
yeah.
How funny is the apocalypse?
The apocalypse is hysterical.
Hysterical.
Let me tell you something. For those who may not know, there's going to be a show on HBO in June of next year, and it is going to be a half-hour comedy starring Jack Black, Tim Robbins, Asif Mandvi from The Daily Show, and Pablo Schreiber, who plays the creepy prison guard on Orange is the New Black, and a bunch of other supporting actors, including myself, who will be portraying the President of the United States, which is a pretty cool promotion. It's funny in a way that Dr. Strangelove and MASH is funny. I call it a mashup between MASH, Dr. Strangelove, and West Wing. But it is hysterical because the angle is this. It's the brink of war. It's the brink of World War III. And these crises that we have around the country, whether it's the Ukraine or as in every year is going to be a different area crisis. Pakistan. Populist leader takes over, starts threatening this and that, and they have nuclear weapons, and they start threatening Israel, and Israel's going to hit them, and then if Israel hits them, the China and Russia's going to. It could be the World War III. So it's the craziness that happens. Tim Robbins plays like the lone liberal lion voice in a cabinet full of right-wing hawks, and I play a Republican president who's more of a populist, and I look at him as a Latino John Kennedy playing, Republican, with that kind of thing. I'm honored, and it's funny. I was a little nervous because, it's a comedy, and I've seen other comedies where they make fun of the fact if we were somebody in charge, it'd be like, yeah, look how crazy the world is. I don't want to mention a name by 2 of my favorite cartoon people, the South Park guys. They did a movie, I think, what was it called, about the future, and they wanted me to play the head of the military, but he was portrayed as a dumb cholo. And I'm thinking, yeah, exactly.
Been there, done that?
Yeah, it's not that. It's just like if you're going to show what the future's like and why it's so messed up, I didn't want to play along with part of the reason it's messed up because one of us is in charge. Do you know what I mean? It's a subtle dig. So what I really responded to in this script, it says, he's the only adult in the room. So I was like, vaya.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir.
And in the scene where Bob pulls a carrot out of the trash, and he hits that guy in the butt and says, "Eat it." Was that an ad-lib thing? Was that improvised? And
who else would come up with that?
And did you think years to come down the road, young men around the world would still be doing that to other young men?
It was one of those stupid ideas after a bunch of takes. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to really with him, I'm like, eat it, cómetelo. And it stuck.
It did.
In more ways than one. Oh.
I've been a victim on more than one occasion. Thank you.
My apologies. I won't offer to kiss the boo-boo.
All right, really quick, after these 2, we're going to take that final question, and that'll be it for today's panel.
Who? Yes.
Hi. Oh, I don't know where to go.
Go ahead.
From that last.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I can
Up.
ask anymore.
My advice is go up.
Yeah.
Almost
well,
out of time.
You answered the Longmire question, but both of you have done sci-fi, and you've done westerns and all that. What genre do you enjoy all of them, or is sci-fi
Porn.
fun?
Employment.
Just kidding.
No,
Just kidding.
That's my favorite genre. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like the green screens, you can be a little more.
Well, for me, it's what's very, very cool is to be able to go between these genres and not get stuck in doing just one. I mean, there are a number of actors who are known for only one thing, and I don't think either one of us ever wanted to be that guy. So to be able to do westerns, to be able to do sci-fi or straight drama or comedy, and have that kind of range, that comes from training, by the way, and. but there's something very, very cool. Number one about like doing westerns, because you really feel like you're making a movie. You're dressing up like something that you're not. You're riding horses. You're shooting guns. But sci-fi as well. And there's a lot about sci-fi that really, really challenges you as an actor.
Green screen, right?
Green screen is huge. You got to make up shit that ain't there, and you have to commit to it. Oh, bats! Oh God, bats are coming at me!
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't commit, then you look stupid. You know, and if you believe it, then the audience will believe it. But it draws. If you're going to make the characters real at all and the situation real at all, you know, you've got to put yourself there, and that is where you're not, you know, getting all touchy-feely with your sense of memory. You really have to sort of put yourself on the line and go for it and be brave.
I think we as actors don't play genres. Genres encapsulate our performances so that we can be real within whatever genre. But I tell you one thing, as a kid, I loved horror movies, fantasy, sci-fi, loved them. Yet you gotta be careful which ones you make, because you don't want to become a scream queen, let's just say, like, you know, certain people, then they get typecast as that. Well, that's another kind of queen.
Oh, sorry.
But anyway, that movie hasn't come out yet. So, you know, we want to shine in all colors. And so, like Lou said, we don't want to be incarcerated in one genre.
Thank you.
Cowboys and Westerns are fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Superman or no?
Superman.
Yeah, Superman.
I greatly appreciate y'all's both talent. Y'all are incredible actors in your profession. Your films, I play it for my children often, as far as especially Stand and Deliver. That's an incredible film. I think it really encompasses the American dream, and there's even some crazy scenes like, "Órale, que calculas?"
Yeah.
I'm early.
His body's decomposing in my locker.
That's right. But how difficult is this? I mean, when you look at the Latino people, we're an incredible group of people. We believe that there is a deity. We believe in the familia. We believe in life. We serve our country. We're probably one of the decorated ethnic groups in the nation. But there's not too many films that portray that passion of who we are. And I long to see that. And my question is, when will the movie industry realize that we are a sleeping giant?
Okay. Here's the thing. Yes, Hollywood's a whore. Hollywood works for money. Okay. What I'm going to echo is that the largest block of movie-going audience is Hispanic, is Latino.
We over-index.
Yeah, it's been documented. Okay, but you're not going out to support your films. That's the problem. And when you start supporting films that make money for the studios, then they will start making more Latino-themed films. Now, there are every few years that shining light that says, okay, here comes the Latino wave. Here comes the Latino wave. It's not quite there yet. And believe me, it started with La Bamba, you know? I had the wonderful opportunity of doing a little film called Philly Brown, which was made for a nickel and a dime and did very well, won a bunch of awards, but it didn't do enough to capture Hollywood's attention. It was a Sundance film. Jenny Rivera, God bless her, is in the film as well. But every once in a while, there are these little breakout films. So you need to pay attention. You need to be watching. When you've got that movie that's playing in one, theater in your town, go to see it. The San Antonio Film Festival is very good about promoting Latino films. Our friend Jesse Borrego is very, very involved in that. So you as consumers have to tell the producers what you want to buy. And it's got to be a marriage that we continue to make, as the years go by.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, to the gentleman who asked that question. We don't know when Hollywood's going to figure it out, because I think they've already figured out we guys are the sleeping giant.
And the problem is we're still asleep on some levels, okay? The whole of American society in general is asleep. We consume a lot of junk food, junk entertainment, junk news. And until the public says this will not do and stops tuning in or lining up to buy tickets to movies just because they have fast cars and hot women in them, you know, not saying that that's a bad movie, but I'm just saying, look at what we consume, look at what we watch. They do, and they know that we're going to go see movies whether we're in them or not, so they don't have to try. They know we're going to line up for the next tentpole movie. Is that little Brenda? They know we nos toman por regalado, which means we're taken for granted. And we're taken for granted for a variety of reasons. Some of them are because we're not in that socioeconomic, you know, we're not viewed as people with a lot of money. We're not. Even though you go to Houston and I can't find somebody without money, Latino or not, you know, like, wow, there is a lot of money and a lot of culture in our community. Like you said, Hero Street, a movie that was pitched many years ago that I remember about a street, I'm not sure where, in Chicago or in the Southwest, where it has the highest concentration of Mexican-American Medal of like Valor winners. And nobody knows this. When you think of great American, you know, veterans or patriots, Latinos aren't even thought of. How many times have we seen Band of Brothers or this or that movies, you know, Saving Private Ryan, where there's a great character that represents that passion? Not a lot. And it's usually, you know, a smaller character. So what I and myself and Jimmy Smits, we started a foundation in DC called National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts to promote people behind the camera as well as in front, because we want more executives, more directors, more producers, writers, very important. We're not known for being prolific writers of letters to the networks. That's a thing you can all do. Write the networks. And if some people feel intimidated or your English is not perfect, that's okay. Take the time, figure out how to write a form letter, pass it around. But if they see us taking pen to paper or keystrokes, and if they feel us and they go, whoa, they will respond. But if nos quedamos calladito, if we are the mild, modest people that we see in the movies that we know we're more, they will never respond to us because they don't feel the need. That's my opinion.
My question is for Lou. I enjoyed your work in Stargate, and I miss the series. I mean, it's a good sci-fi series.
Lou, if you could do a real quick answer, we got to wrap it up. Get you back to. Okay.
My question is how is with Longmire? How is it working with the crew and how that episode, or how is that bondage and, you know, film and
bondage?
Exactly. Stargate Universe, very, very sad it ended. Loved that cast, loved everybody in it, loved the entire crew. The only silver lining to that was that Longmire came along. And I feel the exact same way, maybe even more so. We're in New Mexico, which is absolutely beautiful country to be shooting the series. And I have an old saying, it's anachronistic now because we no longer shoot on film, but you know, the celluloid sees the heart. And everybody on that set, cast and crew and producers, writers, everybody, it's a love fest. We all love each other so much. Everybody is so incredibly talented. And these are not one-man shows. Making movies, television, whatever, it's a communal effort of a band of artists. And you try to find the most talented people whose personalities are going to mesh. And when it works, you get a show like Longmire.
Beautiful, perfect.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alamo City Comic Con, please give it up for Lou Diamond Phillips and Esai Morales.
San Antonio!